record these calls and place our recordings on our YouTube channel. So please, if you don't want to be recorded, you may want to drop off now. I hope everybody can see my screen, and what we're gonna talk about today is Azure Policy, specifically around how to assign automating role-based access control uh, assignment with using Azure Policy. So first of all, as we quickly go into the agenda, it's about quick overview of Azure Policy, what it is, just a level set for 1 minute, and then we will jump into how you can do role assignment. And just FYI, it's gonna be almost all of it will be a demo. So very few slides, just for the reference. So first of all, Azure Policy is Microsoft service that allows you to assert, create, assign, manage policies for for your services. Okay. And what the way you do it, you create rules, you assign what effects these policies are going to be doing, and then you assign those policies to resources, resource group, and subscriptions, and that's how you do it. Policies are nothing but JSON-based rule condition. You have the policy assignment, which kind of dictates where you are going to be enforcing those rules. There is remediation, which can be manual. In our case, we want to make it automatic, where this is enforced. Okay. So basically, at the end of the day, you are doing governance, you are enforcing security standard, and instead of going one by one or looking through it, you can do it proactively. Okay. And also, can help you save cost, because it can check if there are certain resources are kind of not used the way they are supposed to be. And of course, regulatory compliance is one of the big use case. Okay, so with that, let's talk about when we are creating a policy for role assignment. So why do you need that? A number of, I'm sure you have encountered with your customer, I have encountered with my customer more recently, that they want to have a set of roles. Basically, it's a role, a custom role that they have created, that they want to assign, make sure it is assigned to each uh, subscription with a group or a certain user. So basically, or at the same time at the resource group level, because it does certain things. That's how they are doing governance at the resource group and subscription level. So they want to check what subscriptions or resource groups are not um, supporting that, and then apply to those resource group and subscription, those role assignments. So that's what I wanted to talk about, how you can automate it. I mean, there are some resources available, but they are scattered. Hopefully, with this session, I know it's only 30 minutes. You will get a better idea how to set it up, or at least know like what steps you need to take. And I will talk about some gotchas as well. Okay. So first of all, what you need to do is, let's say that you have a role, a custom role, or you can have a custom or built-in role, but normally you will do it with a custom role that you need to assign to. And the first example we will do is with resource group, and then I will show you how you do it with subscription. Just keep in mind, when you're applying policy, it takes some time to take into effect. So what we will doing is, we will be taking a look at some of the existing policy that already applied and what they have done. So just you have to stay with me on that, and in order to do the demo. So basically, first thing, as I said, you will have to do is get the role definition of the role ID. Okay. And then you will be getting the principal of the group or the user that you want to assign. Okay. That's the two things that you will be doing. And then you will be creating the policy. So that's what we're going to see in the demo. Then the assignment of the policy, then you will verify compliance. And if the compliance is not there, you will set up a remediation. And we will talk about certain effects, especially deploy if not exist. That what we'll be using. And as I said, we will remediate the non-compliance resources. So let's jump in. So this is my Azure portal, and I want to go into um, access control. And basically, what I have is I have a um, I have a custom role, and hopefully this browser opens up, and then I can show you the custom role that I have. And that role I have created. I want to show it to you, and what we will do is we will get the. Let me just move this window aside. For some reason, whenever you're doing demo, this thing slows down. So, okay. Anyways, I'm not going to waste time. So the name of the role is if we the name of the role is APL RG role. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here into this shell. I'm going to connect to it, and I'm going to find the ID. You can do it other ways as well. You can use Graph, you can use PowerShell. I'm just going to use Azure CLI to do that. Give it a second for Azure CLI to come up. Come on, man. Okay, so it's a request in Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell coming up. Sorry, folks. It's come on. Whenever there is a demo, for some reason, this thing tends to slow down. Okay. So here is the command for that. Let me just paste it here so we all can see it. Okay. And here is the command. So basically, not sure what's going on here. Some reason the browser is not responsive. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump ahead. Basically, the command that you will use is AZ role definition list, and that will basically show you with the name of the role what command is being used. Okay. So what we're going to do is the second part is who is the user. So what you will have to go in, you have to go into your Active Directory, and let's go in there. It's going really slow. And you will have to go to that particular user and find the user ID for that particular user. And that's basically the service principal. That's what it is. So let me just, sorry guys, for some reason the demo is not going as planned. Seems like it's really slow. Not sure what's going on. Okay. So when it comes back, I will show it to you like how you get it. But the user, I mean, as I said, we will have to get the. Let me just go into shell one last time, guys. Sorry, please. I think we can still go through it. I just want to show you step by step. So everything is very clear. And I did it a few minutes ago, and it was kind of. Yeah. So let me first get the role definition. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna close the browser and restart it. Give me 1 second. Sorry, folks. Some unforeseen hiccups. So I am closing the browser and restarting it back up. Okay. So basically, okay, while this is going on, I have the policy in a VS Code, which was I was supposed to show you step by step. So first of all, let's take a look at the policy. Uh, as you know, Azure Policy is basically you are saying kind of a defining a condition, and then you are saying, does it meet the condition? So this is how this is what it not exist. So this is how it looks like. You have the mode all. In most cases, you will be using the mode all to do it. Let me just, sorry guys, let me just um, close this browser. It seems like it's somehow stuck. So, but in any case, here, okay, let me just start. I'm gonna move it to the side. So while when it comes up, we will take a look at it. Otherwise, let me walk you through the policy. Okay. And yeah. So basically, this is the field. So first of all, we will be applying it to a resource group because what we're applying this policy to a resource group. So that's why we have it here. And the next thing that we are going to be doing here is the then effect. In that, we are doing audit not exist. So it will only audit. I will show you the deployment piece in a second. Just want to show you how you will check first if the role assignment is there. So this is the role assignment. So if you look at any group, it has the role assignment um, kind of a field assigned to it, and you can look at the role assignments for a particular group. And once you have those role assignment, what you wanna do is you wanna check if it does have this particular role assignment, which is basically subscription ID, you have the role definition ID, you have parameter, and this is the actual role definition ID. So basically what we are doing is we are using a parameter and we are passing this, and this is the default value of that APL RG role. So I'm just assigning the default value here. And if um, you don't assign a value, this will come in. So this is the role definition ID. So it's going to check if that role definition ID is there. If that assignment is there, then that's okay. Otherwise, it will audit. Okay. So this is the first piece of it where it is just doing the auditing. Okay. Now comes the interesting part. So now I'm going to expand this policy and I'm going to show it to you where you have the deployment piece. Just keep in mind, if you have done any deployments using ARM or any of the tools, um, this should look very familiar to you. You know, mode incremental, this is the schema version, and this is the resource. So you are creating a role assignment resource. Once again, this is all built-in API version. The name, this is important because this is a GUID. So you just use the deployment name and the resource group ID to generate a unique GUID. Okay. Then this is the fun part. You say role definition ID. This is once again, you are building the same uh, thing that you have in here, and then you assign the principal ID. Principal ID, what is the principal ID? Principal ID, you get it from the user. Okay. So what you do is you basically uh, go in and you go to Azure AD and find the ID of that particular user and use it here. Okay. So, for example, let me just. So any questions, folks?
Yeah. Is this an ARM template that we're working on?
Yeah. So basically, it policy is a JSON file. Okay.
Okay.
So if you are familiar with ARM, yes. And by the way, all the syntax things that applies to ARM applies to this. And actually, it has a little some more restriction, but this part, this deployment part, is 100% ARM.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So this is basically, so think of it. What's happening is you say deploy not exist if first check for this role assignment. Okay. You're going to ask what this role definition ID here is. This is the role that you're going to use to enforce the and do the enforcement. So let's say you found out the role assignment doesn't exist. You have to do it. You have to run a remediation
Yeah.
task, or if it's how do you do it? This is the role. And by the way, if you this is the role ID of a owner. I'm using very strict and kind of overly strict, but this is just an example. So you will have to assign a role definition ID here, which can do the task. Just keep in
Hmm.
mind if that role cannot, for example, if you put contributor, remember contributor cannot give access to other people. So if you do a contributor, it's not gonna work
Right.
because what it's gonna do is as soon as you do contributor, it's gonna fail because the way it does is um, and let me just show you here, hopefully. So, guys, sorry, we will have to jump a little bit like in a time shift. So, I already have a few policies that I have applied, and let me show you here. Okay, so this is the assignment. This is the first of all, let me show you the policy, and then we will look at the assignment and compliance and the remediation task and all that. Okay, hopefully this time browser doesn't kind of bother me. But in the meantime, while this is showing, please feel free to ask any questions. Let me just do APL. So there are going to be, this is the policy that we were working with. There's a question in the chat window I missed. Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, so basically this is the one I was referring to. Okay, and this policy, I wanted to create it uh, here, but for some reason, um, this doesn't work out as it's supposed to be. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we are um, going to assign this policy. Okay, and now you will see why I was saying you need to have this. So I'm gonna assign it to a hold on one second. Let me just quickly go in here. I'm gonna assign it to a subscription. I wanted to create this policy end to end, but sorry, for some reason it didn't work out this thing. And I'm gonna call it, just give it a different name. Okay, next parameters. There's a default parameter, so you don't have to give any remediation. Okay, this is important. Create a managed identity. And remember, this is the identity it will be given. I have given the owner. You may have create a custom role and give that identity, but this is the identity that you have to give. Okay, so what it's going to do is create a manage, it's going to behind the scene create a system managed identity, or you can use user managed identity, and that's how it's going to run the remediation task. Just keep in mind, when you have a deploy not exist policy, any existing resources that are non-compliant, you have to address them through remediation task. Got it? And anything that is new will be addressed through a remediation task automatically. So what will happen is, let's say that you have 10 resource group, three of them had the role. You're gonna see the list. Okay, three of them have the role, seven don't have that role. Okay, then uh, you run the remediation, you apply those remediation tasks, all 10 now have the role that you want assigned. Then somebody comes in, create a new resource group. What's going to happen is, for the time being, resource group will not have that role. But behind the scene, this thing policy will kick in, create a remediation task, and you can see it in the activity logs. So you will be able to see that in the activity logs how this thing is created. So basically, how this thing is happening, like you will see a deploy not exist task created, and it will push that policy in, push that policy, basically push that deployment in to create that resource group, or create that role assignment. Sorry. So let's look at the assignments. We should have that assignment now, and it takes a minute to update the compliance level. So wait a minute. Any questions in the meantime?
Thanks, that makes
So
sense.
this is, thank you. And let's go into the assignment. Let's see if we are lucky and it has already processing those things. So let's look at the compliance. Okay, let's look at the compliance. That's what tells us what resources have it and what resources don't. In this particular, I'm gonna tell you that in this particular subscription, I have a few resource group. In only one has that role applied. The rest don't. So what we should see here in compliance is um, one resource. Yes, it is compliant. The rest, they are not compliant. Okay, okay, guys, I'm gonna switch context a little bit. You can do the same thing with subscription. So let's say you have a list of subscription and you want to have kind of a some side sort of a role that you want to apply for subscription. There are a few gotchas. Okay, while this thing is coming up, this is the subscription policy, and I learned it through the hard way, the documentation. First, under deployment, you will have to give a location. Okay, then in the you have to provide the existence scope and the deployment scope. These are required. Otherwise, it's going to by default, these values are resource group. So it will say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't find this thing here. Okay. So of course, this thing will be subscriptions, just like we have resource group. So first that. Next is you have to define existence scope, deployment scope to subscriptions. Third, you need to provide a location. Once you do that, then it will deploy this policy at the subscription level and it will work the same way as we talked about. Sorry for switching thread. Come on. Pardon for the uh, demos now. Not sure what's going on. I mean, I have a 1 gig uh, Ethernet, sorry, 1 gig fiber. So this is not the bandwidth issue. I think there's something else going on. Uh, Let me just go in here. Come on. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think we are seeing compliance. So let's see. Okay, so yes, as you can see here, um, hopefully when this screen comes up, we have only one compliant resource and then we have the rest of them are non-compliant. And let's see what we see in the non-compliant details. This is very important because this is how you debug your policy. Let's say your policy isn't working. Look at the details because the compliance reason will tell why this resource was not compliant. Okay, so data is not refreshed yet. Normally, if the data is refreshed, it will show you the compliant, non-compliant reason like the attributes weren't matching. So let me see if we can see some um, other non-compliant and I can show it to you. I know we have 1 more minute. Any questions, folks? Sorry, guys. Let me just go 1 more back. I know I want to show you a subscription one. I think that will help. I know we are right on time, so just want to show you the subscription one. Yeah, this is the one. So let me show you the compliance for that. In the meantime, any questions? Sorry, folks, this demo wasn't as smooth as I wanted to be, but sometimes things don't cooperate. Just as I'm quickly wrapping up with the role assignment, start with the role definition and the principal ID, and then start building your policy. Just keep in mind you want to use deploy if not exist. Yes. So there are 3 resources. One is compliant, 2 are not. And let me show you the non-compliant reason. So once this comes up, we'll see the reason here. Okay, non-compliant, and look at this. This says current value and target value. So over there, I am checking for this, and this is not there. So that's why it's not compliant. You see what I'm saying? So that's how the comparison works. That can help you debug this thing as well. Okay. So that's that. Any other questions, folks? Thank you very much for joining, and sorry for the snafu, and hope to see everybody next week for another session of Azure Power Lunch. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend.